Xiaomi's Redmi smartphones have been one of the most successful budget devices out there. The Redmi 4 is one of the latest offerings and it costs just $130, but it has a premium design and great specs. But is it really worth the price? My name is Linus and here's the full Gizmo China's review. The phone ships with all the usual stuff that comes with most of the phones, no extras included. When it comes to the design, the Redmi 4 is definitely one of the best looking and most premium budget phones out there. It's made of metal, it sits nicely in the hand and its buttons are nice and tactile. The phone is compact due to its 5" 720p display, which is not of the highest resolution, but it is still plenty sharp for everyday use. We have a 5-megapixel shooter and notification LED light, which can be highly customizable. Unfortunately, the capacitive buttons are not backlit. On the back, we have a 13-megapixel shooter with f2.2 aperture and a dual LED flash. As usual to Xiaomi phones, the fingerprint scanner is fast, accurate, and it allows you to unlock the phone straight from the standby mode. It's great that we have the IR blaster to control devices like TVs. The loudspeaker quality is actually very good for such a cheap phone. I have the lower-end Redmi 4 that has an octa-core Snapdragon 430 chip, 2GB of RAM and 16GB of expandable storage. You can also opt in for a slightly more expensive Redmi 4 Prime model that has a Snapdragon 625 chip, 32GB of storage and 3GB of RAM. Even the lower-end model can handle 3D games pretty well. I played a few games on the highest graphics and there were just a few minor skipped frames. Also, the phone did not overheat. The Xiaomi Redmi 4 ships with the Android 6.0 based MIUI global ROM that has Google services pre-installed and Chinese bloatware removed. As usual, we have a ton of customization options, various settings, tweaks, and little features to make the phone look your own. Some of the cool features include a baked-in theming engine where you can choose from a lot of themes, fonts, wallpapers, and so on. Also, we can go to the so-called second space, which is, as Xiaomi says, like having two devices at the same time. In other words, it's like having two accounts on the same phone. Finally, the phone is pretty fast and fluid on the daily basis, and I didn't see any lag or stutter. Keep in mind that my Redmi 4 shipped with a global ROM. When it comes to the image quality, it is good yet not great. The Redmi 4 can take some good-looking daylight photos with a decent amount of detail, nice color reproduction and sharpness. The dynamic range adjustment is not always perfect, but the HDR mode does a pretty good job bringing the detail back to the shadows. The image quality is not as good in lower lit situations. Most of the shots look soft, there is a low amount of detail, and the colors look a little bit washed out. The night image quality is actually even worse. I don't really want to say that we may see a software update to improve the quality, but as of now, the photos don't look that good. The selfie images will look okay on social media, but in general, they could have more detail and sharpness. The 1080p video looks pretty good for a cheap phone. A few complaints would be that the continuous autofocus is a little bit jumpy and the footage may look a little shaky as there is no video stabilization built in. Finally, the audio recording quality is far from the best. As most of the Xiaomi phones, the Redmi 4 ships with a dual SIM card tray that doubles as a microSD card slot. The call quality is okay, the GPS is actually very accurate, but I found that the Wi-Fi download speeds are a lot slower than usual. I hope Xiaomi will address this issue with the future software updates. The battery life can be summarized in a few words: one of the best on the market. The 4100 mAh unit will easily get you 2 days of heavy usage or even 4 days of lighter use, which is just an insane result. Seriously, it is very hard to kill this battery. In case you need to recharge it, the phone supports the fast charging feature, but it does not ship with a fast charger. I was able to fully charge the phone in about 2 hours with a supplied charger. The Xiaomi Redmi 4 is yet another great budget device on the market. In fact, it is one of the best you can get at this price point, but it doesn't mean it is a perfect phone. The device has a top-notch build quality and nice design. The internal hardware components assure a good UI and gaming performance, and the camera can take some decent daylight images. Also, the battery life is just insanely good. However, even at this price point, we want to see the backlit capacitive keys and a better low-light camera performance. Also, the Wi-Fi download speeds were pretty low every time I wanted to download an app from the Play Store. At the end of the day, the Xiaomi Redmi 4 is still one of the best budget phones you can buy at the moment, but make sure to consider if the previously mentioned shortcomings are important to you or not. It was Linus, thanks for watching, and as always, if you have any questions, please drop me a comment down below. Also, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, like the video, and please visit gizmochina.com for all the latest and greatest Chinese tech news and reviews. See you soon.